Good evening. My name is Patty Von Olin, and I came also to speak to you about expanding Riverview Farm Park. Mr. Burney and Mayor Price and Vice Mayor Vick and members of the City Council, what a great opportunity you have. Former city officials have realized the value of this prized parcel of land along the James River in the central part of our city, and they've retained Riverview and the city farm land. Forward-thinking members of the Framework for the Future Task Force recommended the entire tract of land be used for a public park. In the 90s, a Newport News City Council had a Deep Creek Menchville Marina plan that included some great features and would enhance the quality of life for all citizens. Now, those of you who are currently serving on council will be able to take action and really now finally provide waterfront access for all citizens of Newport News. As you know, we have, and I think I'm right on these figures, approximately 23 miles of James River shoreline within the city limits. Currently, there are only 3 other places where citizens can access the beach and the river. We have miles and miles of private homes along the river in Newport News. But what we don't have is citizen access to the James River north of Hilton Beach. Officially expanding Riverview Farm Park to include all the land that was formerly the city farm will be a great gift to citizens, and it will mark your legacy of public service. By taking steps to formally include all this land as Riverview Farm Park, you will be providing exactly what young families are looking for: green spaces that provide opportunities for recreation and outdoor experiences. This will be a perfect win-win situation. Citizens will be able to enjoy the river, and this park will quickly become well known as one of the best features of living in Newport News. What a legacy you'll leave. And I'm really glad that the planners and decision makers carved out over 750 acres in the middle of Manhattan to make Central Park. Like those forward-thinking developers of New York City, you'll be remembered for your vote to make the former city farm property part of the Riverview Farm Park. Current and future citizens of Newport News will appreciate you for making sure this beautiful land along the James River is open to all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thomas Sherlock.
Good evening. I'm Thomas Peter Charlock, 22 Executive Drive in Newport News. It's very nice to see the council and to see our fellow residents. This address is short, and it was on the city farm issue. I'm just following up what others have said, and it would be a temptation to sell that property, which is, I think, accounted at some $40 million, and collect property tax if we put in 11-story condos there. That would be short-sighted. The young mayor of Richmond has thrown down a gauntlet to the other cities in Virginia. He says that his city is improving in quality, and he seeks to attract creative people who will make jobs, creative people who will make culture. Our opportunity is to make that city farm area a capstone of our park system and attract those creative people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. George Harrison.
Good evening, Mayor Price, Vice Mayor Vick, members of council. My name is George Harrison. Thanks to the reporting of the Daily Press, we found out that our city government has received a proposal for residential development on the city farm property. Let me remind you that this parcel is already zoned as parkland, and that a previous council had adopted a plan to make the city farm part of Riverview Farm Park. If and when if and when it ceased to be used as a correctional institution. And thanks to Mr. Borey's action, that has come to pass. As citizens of Newport News, we are expected, among other things, to pay our taxes and obey the laws, rules, and regulations passed by this body and its predecessors. If one of us is cited for violating a law passed in 1991, we can't claim that the law is invalid because a previous council passed it. However, that is precisely what some members of our city government seem to wish to do when it comes to the city farm parcel. As citizens, we have a right to expect honesty and candor from our city government. We deserve a city government that stands by its word. The city council should not even consider any proposal for the city farm parcel that includes residential development. Limited commercial developments such as restaurants, boat rentals, or shops, such as was previously mentioned about Yorktown, would seem appropriate. However, any residential development of this property, it seems to me, is tantamount to robbing the very people you were charged with representing. That land belongs to the citizens of Newport News. It's not an unwanted or underdeveloped piece of property. We were promised that it would be part of Riverview Farm Park, where the average citizen could have access to one of the resources that makes Newport News a great place to live and work. Thank you.
Adrian Whitcomb.
Mayor Price. I'm Adrian Whitcomb. I live at 316 54th Street, and I've been in this city, well, I was born in this city, so I've seen a lot of changes. But the main objective of the organization that I represent is Citizens for Riverview Farm Park, is to see that the agreement that was made 25 years ago, the resolution that was passed by council back then, is fulfilled. That our citizens do receive a park that comprises all of the city farm, original city farm property, as well as the city-owned portion of the marina. This is something that the council should look at, not just what would happen this year, next year, or the year after, or the next 10 or 20 years. This will go on for decades, for centuries, if we survive that long. What we are doing is preserving something that fortunately people before us have chosen to preserve for us and for people further down the line. And we have no right to sell it off now. We need to keep it for everyone in the city to enjoy. If any of it is sold, it will affect what's left. It needs to all be part of a park. And Riverview Farm Park should truly be Riverview Farm Park, with a view of the river, including all that was originally the farm, and it should all be park. I've been to all the neighborhoods in this city that are on the waterfront, and what I've recognized is that unless you live on the water, you don't get access to the river. For example, Denby Plantation, which is the neighborhood just north of the park, very fine homes there. But there's no public park, no access to that river. You can drive as close as you can to the river, but all you see are houses side by side and little gaps between them, and that's all you get. And if this is all we want the city to be, then we will diminish this city. What we need to do is live up to what was decided years ago and make this city the great city that it should be. And I thank you for listening and hope that you will take this to heart and think about the people not only now but in the future. And they will thank you too, and remember what you have done. Thank you.
Thank you. Carolyn Ramsey, did you want to speak?
Hello, Mayor and council members. I live in Newport News on Haven Court. I am here to support the retention of all the property that is adjacent to the Riverview, the current park that was set aside by zoning 25 years ago. At least that's my understanding. I was dismayed when the barn was summarily torn down without public input. I'm fearful that there won't be an opportunity for public input in the rest of this process. And I would urge you to take hold of this wonderful opportunity to retain this for the future. The archaeology that is there on the site